take with you all. Today, my name, of course, I'm Asha Precious, and I'm going to present to you about this AI project that is going to be dealing with. Let me begin by talking about the problem or the challenge that I'm trying to solve. Today, in most communities, employers with different businesses or in organizations have always found challenges in recruiting. What I'm trying to talk about here is that, based on my research, I could discover in times where employers are in need of labor, they tend to put on advertisements talking about the jobs that they are calling for, people to apply for. But most times when they are putting these advertisements, they always attach the requirements that are supposed to be presented by the candidates. And these requirements can be the CV, application letters, academic documents, all that. But for this case, times they may not look at the application letter, but look at the CV, since it has a lot of information that is to be attached to the candidate. So in this process that the advertisement is being seen, it's times that it is viewed by very many people. You find that the employer is going to receive very many CVs from different candidates, and this becomes very hectic, to pass through all those CVs, all the documents, and see who are the right people. And now, after we say how the problem is being faced by the employers, all that, the goal of this project is to develop a cutting-edge software that can give a legal sound and equitable CV ranking system, and candidates will be ranked for a specific job profile based on their abilities and expertise. The candidates, the skills, their professional skills that they have, and maybe even some additional skills or interests, and then tries to allocate the suitable job positions. Then the employer, physically passing through these documents. At times, this bias may cause that some people who even have better skills are affected in a way that they may not be employed, maybe what I can call luck, and this is really a problem faced by many. Or images of the academic documents and the text, data type of the candidates, additional skills and interests of the candidates. In this case, for the CV, of course, there's always that provision where they tell you attach the documents for proof, for the above information. Now, these attached documents, they can be academic documents or certificates. So when you attach these certificates or the academic documents, the system should be able to get these images and images of the certificates and the academic documents, and then logically try to estimate the right job or predict for you the right job that you're suitable for. This may be an advantage to the employer in a way that the employer gets an efficient team of workers, and this may also help in the increase or in the growth of the business or growth of the production. Next, I'll talk about this machine learning. In this project, we shall need some machine learning approaches. And some of these approaches, we have the supervised learning approach or machine learning. This is the approach with which the algorithms are trained by using labeled datasets. The datasets train the algorithms to be smarter. They make it easy for the algorithms to predict the outcome as accurate as possible. This machine learning, it is mostly its purpose. It is to train the algorithms that are going to be used by the AI system, that the AI system is going to use as it's performing its tasks. And the second one will be the unsupervised learning approach of machine learning. The difference between these two is the common difference, the main difference that you can just, in unsupervised learning approach of machine learning, this one uses unlabeled data sets for training the algorithms. Instead of the machine, with the help of human intervention, this one, like in unsupervised, the machine is able to access its own skills or its own massive amount of unclassified data and finding the hidden patterns in a certain data or data set. Now here I'm talking about the techniques in supervised learning that can be used in the solving of the AI problem. One of them we may talk about classification. Classification is a technique that is used in the supervised learning of machine learning. This technique predicts the responses. Like for this project, the classification model technique will help to classify the input data into categories, like scanning the attached images to the CV into academic documents and non-academic. Here I'm trying to say that when you are touching this AI, when it's doing its stuff using this technique, it will be able to categorize after presenting the images of maybe academic documents, certificates. For this technique, it will be able to categorize them like the academic and non-academic images or documents. So as it can try to look through and maybe analyze the work very well so as to get the right appropriate position or job position for the candidate, or to see how the candidate is suitable for. Second one, we have the regression models. This technique as it's used, it's expected to produce a numerical relationship between the input and output data. Like in this project, the model is to predict the ability of the candidate to be able to do the job that the candidate has applied for. Because why I'm saying this, these three version models, at times they operate in a way that they always give a common output of yes or no. As in, that's what I'm trying to mean by prediction. Yes, this one qualifies. Yes, this one no, this one doesn't qualify. So that's how it's going to help in knowing the candidate that qualifies and the candidate that does not qualify, or maybe if the candidate lacks the qualifications for the job position that is available. Next, I will talk about the technique and learning that can be used to make a statement from the to be used in developing this project, the association approach. This approach uses some rules to find relationships between variables in a data set. This approach is often used in suggestions and recommendations. For example, in this project, the system is able to analyze the information in the CV and address the candidate a suitable job position. It goes through the CV and see the qualifications or the abilities of the candidate, and then it is able to allocate after seeing perusing through or even seeing some cases, maybe the directions that were maybe also input by the employer like to consider, the qualifications to consider, and then after like comparing, analyzing the CV so well, it's then like able to address the candidate as suitable to a position. And hence this one is also making the work for the employers easy in recruiting. Next we shall talk about clustering. Clustering, it is a learning technique in data mining where unlabeled or unclassified data are grouped depending on either similarities or differences among them. This technique can help in allocating different candidates with different job positions basing on their provided documents. I won't go too much in that. Next, I'm going to talk about the technical AI challenges. These challenges, what I may say, like challenges that I'm not going to say very many, I'm going to say a few that may be like likely to face like during this development of this project. One of them is computing power. Here the amount of power, these power-hungry algorithms and use of machine techniques is a lot. Now here what I can say, the computing power. AI-like projects, like designing them, the performance, like for them to perform, they like need a lot of like power, let's say like electricity. And if someone is to use like this normal electricity, it may fail to be like operated and be developed. So it calls for a lot of power, being that it involves the machine learning process and trying to train the algorithms that are going to be used by the AI. Next, I'll talk about data security. Artificial intelligence relies on data for its predictions and decisions. It is critical to protect the data from theft or manipulation. Here, what I can say, in this AI, okay, there is not that like the concern or that much data security to like able like let's say like keep the details, the personal details of the candidates who have applied. Because in case someone is like to hack into this AI system, the person can get access to the data of the candidates and maybe use it to do wrong or like for malicious purposes, which may be risky on the side of the candidates. Next, deployment lag time. For deployment, I think deploying, we can take an example of deploying an application on a hosting site, like testing it, seeing how it's operating, like how it's to operate, and after that, it also gets ready for use, like in production. So same applies to this. AIs are complex, being that they incur a lot of knowledge when developing them. And since they are like a lot of knowledge and a lot of techniques that are also put, so if the thing becomes heavy, the system becomes heavy, that it may take a long period of time, like to install, to train and test it, see how it's going to work, and then be ready for use. Next, remedies to the problems, and the problems I'm referring to are the ones that I have shown in the previous slide, and below are the following measures. For the first one, we have use of supercomputers computing power so as to cater for the computing power problem. due to the availability of cloud computing and parallel processing systems, developers work on AI systems more effectively. Like here, developers won't face issues of maybe like less amount of power, because supercomputers, yeah, they kinda like cloud computing, parallel processing systems. So it's somehow, though they are not cheap. Yes, they're not cheap, but it helps a lot and it saves. And this encourages the developers to carry on the development. Next, I'll talk about use of techniques like the anonymity to protect the sensitive information while retaining the accuracy of your model so as to solve the problem of data insecurity. Yeah, this one, it's a technique that will kind of like Next, for this one will be addressed to the deploying lab time. This one says running smaller data experiments on the public cloud so that you can observe how the systems work in production and get faster results in solving the deployment lab time problem. Next, I'm going to talk about four different terms. Accuracy, these are terminologies in AI. One of them is accuracy. Accuracy is the most intrinsic performance measure, and it is simply a ratio of correctly predicted observation to the total observation. Like for accuracy, like the observation, like according to the AI, like the algorithms that it has, helping it like to analyze the information, what it will always compare like its predictions of like the predicted observation, what it expects or what it has predicted, and visualize it to the total observations. Next is precision. Precision is the ratio of correctly predicted positive observations to the total predicted positive observations. And recall is the ratio of correctly predicted positive observations to all the observations in the actual class, yes, or maybe the total observations in the actual class, yes. Then F1 score is the weighted average of precision and recall. Metrics for the project, like the ones that will kind of help like the AI to talk about the true negative rate, market specificity. A true negative rate is defined as the TN, which is true negative over the false positive rate plus the true negative. False positive rate corresponds to the proportion of the negative data points that are correctly considered as negative, with respect to all negative data points. This is to help in specificity when allocating jobs to the candidates based on their data in the CV. Classification accuracy. Classification accuracy is what we usually mean when we are to use the term accuracy. It is the ratio of number of correct predictions to the total number of input samples. For example, Consider that there are 90% samples of candidates with the appropriate qualifications to the job being advertised, and 2% samples of with not all the recommended qualifications. Okay, they don't have all the qualifications, but maybe have a few. In our recruitment process, the model can easily get the 98 training accuracy by simply predicting every candidate having the appropriate qualifications. But it's very accurate as it's picking out, like noticing the candidates with the qualifications. And lastly, for the presentation that I have made, the references are used as I was like acquiring the data that I have tried to present to you. And all I can say, thank you for listening. My name is Ashura Desire Precious, and that's what I had all for today. Thank you.